Hey guys, Chelsea here from Making Manzanita. Today we're going to teach you how to build this DIY nightstand. Guys, I am in Quinn's room. I'm in my cozies. I've been off all week for Thanksgiving and hanging out with the kids. So but Logan's out in the garage working while I took the week off. So he has been working on a nightstand, which we're going to show you here shortly. But I wanted to show you where we're putting it. So I'm in Quinn's room, and let me flip the camera around. All right, so this is the area that we are creating the nightstand for. You can see here just temporarily after we finished the headboard, which we did a few weeks ago. We just brought in this like stump table that I've had in our office for a while, and I'm actually missing it in the office because I have it usually next to my chair, and I put books and stuff on it. And I just put it in here temporarily, but it's a little too small for the space, and I would love something that has some storage in it, because she's got all these books that we keep by her bed as well. So we're building the nightstand for this area, and of course it's going to match the headboard perfectly. So we're going to incorporate the cane into a door, and it's kind of going to be like a bedside cabinet. So it'll have a door and then a shelf, and of course it'll have legs, but it'll be a little bigger than this table, so it'll fit pretty nicely right there, this whole area. So that's where we're putting it. And then we're keeping this light here too. I got these in a 2-pack on Amazon, and I love them. They're so cool because they have USB right here, and then this is a regular outlet, and then it's a touch, you can see, and it's got 3 levels of touch so it gets brighter. And they were really reasonably priced, and I really like that. So I'll link to those if you're interested in those lights. Again, they come in a 2-pack. So I got one for another room in the house too. But that's where we are going to put the nightstand. The coolest part about this nightstand is, of course, we're working with Kreg, so the woodworking plans are going to be available for you for free to download and build yourself, which is always fun. I'm going to start by cutting the wood down to size according to the woodworking plans, which are linked below in this description, and you can download those for free. At this point, you also want to cut that small ledge in the piece as shown there. That's actually called a dado cut, and that is going to be for the shelf. You can cut that with your table saw and just put the blade a little bit lower to get that nice cut. Then you want to drill your pocket holes, and we are using the Kreg 720 Pro, and we have a full tutorial on how to use and set up this pocket hole jig. We love it so much. Then you want to move on by just lightly sanding all the pieces of wood before moving on to assembly. And you want to start by assembling the outside perimeter of the cabinet, including that back panel. And we were using pocket hole screws that were 1 1/4 inch, and we had pre-drilled all of the pocket holes, and so we just put the screws in as shown, and then the outside of the nightstand is all done. Next, you can move on to adding the shelf. You want to add some wood glue on the inside of that dado cut, and then push the shelf into place, and you may need to use a rubber mallet if needed, just to push that shelf into place and get it nice and secure. Then you want to move on to filling your pocket holes. You can either buy the pocket hole plugs, or you can make your own using the custom pocket hole plug cutter, and you just drill out the plugs and then add them into each pocket hole with some wood glue. Step, you want to add the legs to the bottom. You should pre-drill holes in each corner and then apply some wood glue and screw into place, and then just be sure to wipe off any excess glue that comes out while you're screwing those legs into place. Then you can move on to the door, and we assembled the pieces of the door with our clamp table to make sure everything was nice and square as we screwed it together. And you can disregard that little channel in the back of the door. I'm going to explain that later. Now, since we are using plywood on this nightstand, the edges of the plywood are exposed, and you can see the layers of veneer there. Now, if you don't mind this look, you can totally leave it, and that's good too. But if you want to cover it, you can use edge banding on all of the exposed edges. You can just follow the instructions on the edge banding, and you apply it with an iron, and then you just trim off the excess with a utility knife. Then you want to sand everything really well with 150 grit sandpaper and an orbital sander. Wipe it all down to get all that sanding dust, and then you can seal or paint the nightstand. We chose to just do a natural finish with a clear aerosol lacquer, and it worked great. So here's what the nightstand looks like now. We got the edge tape put on yesterday, and then everything has been lacquered. We did not stain this. This is just sanded oak plywood, and then the door's made with just oak hardwood. And then the legs are just pre-made legs that we got at Home Depot, and they're a slightly lighter shade. It's not going to bother me that much. They're not oak, they're just like a light wood, and you can kind of see they are a little different color, but not too bad. All right, so we are going to put the cane in the door right now. The door's also been sealed with the same lacquer, and this is the channel that we're using for the cane, and this is going to be on the back of the door. We're going to be using this is called spline or reed spline, and this is what's going to kind of tuck the cane into this channel that we've made. And we got a couple different sizes because we weren't entirely sure, and we just got all this on Amazon. And then these are wedges that you use to hold the cane into place. You just put them in these channels while you're attaching the spline. And we're also going to use a little wood glue in there too. All right, so we have had the cane in the sink and soaking in water for about 4 hours, and now we're going to go put it on the cabinet door. First, you want to cut down the cane webbing so that it just overhangs a few inches on each side of the frame, and you can cut it pretty easily with a utility knife. Next, you can see here that we are trying our best with this whole spline technique. And to be honest, it was really frustrating, and right about here is when we started to give up. So this kind of sucks. This is like breaking as we put it in here. This stuff, this spline, we probably should have soaked this too, because it's like so coiled up it doesn't want to straighten because it was in a circle, and it's like got waves in it. So I think we're just gonna go with the method that we used for the headboard, which was pretty easy, and I don't know why we decided to try something new. But we're gonna staple it just like we did on the headboard, because that was really easy. So we're changing it up. Using the staple gun method was a lot easier, and we just had one person hold it nice and tight and the other stapled it around the back of the door frame, and then you can just cut off the excess with a utility knife. Next, you can attach the hinges and hang the cabinet door, and just follow along with the instructions and template that come with your hinges. And then you can attach the magnetic catch up in the top corner inside the door, so that the door has somewhere to stop. And then lastly, you want to attach your door hardware to that cabinet door. And here's how Quinn's bedroom looks with that DIY nightstand added. I absolutely love how it turned out. I think it's perfect for the space, and I love how it's just the perfect complement to the matching headboard, which we also have a tutorial for if you want to check out how to make that. But if you've done any research on the trendy cane furniture, you know that it is so expensive to buy. I mean, some nightstands that look similar to this retail for $400 or $600. So I'm proud to say that we were able to build this DIY bedside table on a budget. We spent about $138 in the wood supplies and some of the other things we need to get, like the cane and the edge banding. And of course, the best part of this DIY nightstand is that we are giving away the plans for free so you can make it yourself. So there is a link in our description of this video, so be sure to hop on over there to download the plans and let us know how your build goes. While you're here, we would love it if you would subscribe to our channel. We put out DIY and renovating videos weekly, and then watch this video next. See you guys next time.